everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So before we dive into today's episode, which is all of the spoilers and latest gossip, tea, and drama surrounding the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13 reunion. So they've officially filmed the reunion. People are spilling the tea. There's a lot of drama and predictions going on. So we are just going to have a lot of fun and yeah. So as we go through, be sure to drop your name, drop your candy canes, where you're listening from in the chat box, drop your questions in your comments. Let's have a really fun time, okay? And so before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's go. So first up, let's talk about how the reunion and honestly, this entire season has been Kyle Richards versus the girls. Okay. So Kyle was on her Amazon Live and she really spilled some of the tea. So we're going to do an overview of what Kyle has said about the reunion. And then I'm going to break down. Oh, I'm hiding Garcelle's face. Okay. And then I'm going to break down my predictions for each of the ladies with Kyle versus them. So let's first start with the overview. So this is from Reality Blurb. It says Kyle Richards dishes on scary Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion, Dorit feud, and who got the most heat, plus Erika's Watch What Happens Live diss and Lisa Rinna update. Kyle Richards was asked to describe the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion in 5 words during a recent appearance on Amazon Live. And don't worry, guys, you know I have that clip, and so we will be watching it in just a bit. In addition to sharing who was in the hot seat the most, naming the cast members with the best looks, and confirming if the group got resolution, Kyle spoke of her future with Dorit, reacted to Erika, saying she hoped Andy Cohen would eviscerate her at the taping, and revealed if she's seen Lisa Rinna lately. Torture is 1 word, and anxiety provoking, that's 2 words, sorry. Stressful, scary, emotional, Kyle said of the reunion on Amazon Live on February 6th. As for who got the most heat, Kyle named herself, Dorit, and Sutton. I would say I was definitely in the hot seat a lot, I would say. Yeah. I think Dorit was, oh gosh, I think Sutton, yeah, she stated. She then named Garcelle and Erika as the cast members with the best looks. Although the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 12 reunion saw utter chaos between her and her sister Kathy, Kyle confirmed she had a much better luck this time around when it came to getting closure. I felt better leaving than going, absolutely, which is always my goal, which is why last year was so depressing to me and so sad. I've never had that. That was by far the worst reunion leaving there. We didn't even take a picture, didn't hug, didn't cheer. I just went home and cried, she recalled. I mean, yeah, you went home and you cried because you and the faux Fox 5 got exposed and read for filth for an entire season all over the internet, and yes, at the reunion. None of you guys should have had the privilege of closure. Kyle, you and Lisa Rinna and Erika Jane and Ding Dong Dorit, y'all did so many women so dirty. Not just last season, but for all of the seasons. Your own sister, Yolanda Hadid, Denise Richards. You even did Camille dirty as hell. Not to mention what you guys did to Garcelle last season. Like, stop. You deserve to go home and cry. All of you guys did. And all of you deserve the smoke that Kathy gave you. So I guess I'm happy you had a better reunion with your sister this time. Fine. But don't play the victim and act like you didn't get what you got because you deserved it, because you did. Anyway, let's keep going. She says, I felt good coming out of the reunion, and I felt very relieved to be able to say that. All the things that I had, that had hurt me through this season, I was able to address. And I felt like I felt there feeling a lot lighter. So that's always a goal for me. Again, like, the problem with Kyle is that she never can see her role in the mess. She doesn't see her role in her, failing marriage with Mauricio. She doesn't see her role in how all of the women are really not messing with her this season. She doesn't see her role in how all of her sisters don't really mess with her like that. If your husband can't be bothered, if your friend group slash coworkers cannot be bothered, your family cannot be bothered, the common denominator is you. If you're having all of these problems in your interpersonal relationships, most likely you are at fault. And she still doesn't take any personal responsibility. Doesn't mean that other people aren't at fault. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means you're not taking accountability for the role that you play in the demise of these relationships. When the entire world is against you, you got to look in the mirror. Obviously, there are certain situations where that's not true, but with Kyle, it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that blanketly. Anyway, while Dorit recently said she and Kyle did not go into the reunion on good terms, Kyle said she was hopeful that they'd be close again soon. I can always, repair things with someone if I cared about them, so yes, she stated. She's also not holding a grudge against Erika for her Watch What Happens Live diss. She actually gave me a heads up about it. I was kind of just confused because we are friends and I love her and value her friendship. I honestly think it was because she was so grilled last year. She felt like she was on trial at the reunion. So she was like, it's someone else's turn, Kyle explained. Okay. I'm going to get a little bit more into her dynamics with Dorit and with Erika when I get to Dorit and Erika's little section during the live. But I'll say this to preface this. Kyle, you're a liar. Number one, you don't like Dorit anymore. Just be honest with it. You don't like her. You don't like her because of the rumor she was having sex with your husband. And you don't like her because she had the audacity to say, hey, maybe you could take some accountability with your sister and with the whole Kathy stuff last reunion. And you said this yourself. So don't act like you actually want to be close with Dorit again. The reason why you want to be close with Dorit again is the same reason why you are now backtracking on feeling some type of way about Erika saying she wanted you eviscerated. It's because you need allies and you know you don't have any. You most likely do want to come back for next season, but you realize you are now an island. And so you're now trying to recoup and rebuild those friendships, not because you actually want to be friends with them, but because you realize you do no longer have any alliances. So that's why now you're backtracking with Erika, and that's why now you're like, I want to be close to Dorit again. Yeah, because you need someone to film with you. Annemarie, I doubt she's coming back, and that was a complete flop. So Kyle knows that she needs allies, she needs alliances, and she's pretty much on an island by herself. So now, yes, of course, she wants to backtrack because it's after the reunion, she wants to get a contract. So, girl, stop. Regarding her recent contact with Lisa Rinna, Kyle revealed they recently bumped into each other at a sushi restaurant. I saw Rinna, she was great, and I've been looking at her Instagram and she is just killing it as like a model now. I just really love that. I mean, she looks amazing, Kyle gushed. Girl, stop trying to make Rinna happen. She's on pause for a reason. She then was questioned about her favorite season on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It was very hard for me to say, Kyle admitted. Honestly, it's sad. But the ones that stand out are my least favorite because I just don't know. I guess that's just how life is. But I have a lot of great moments on the show and a lot of not great moments on the show, good and bad. Even this season, I had a very challenging time, but we also had some fun times too. I really do love the girls trips, just being with the girls there. Kyle, please. You were just on what do you call it? You were just on Jeff Lewis Live talking about I don't know these hoes. We did an episode on it, how Kyle basically was like, I don't talk to these women unless we're filming. I don't know what's going on in their life. Why are they asking me what's going on in mine? And I'm like, what? Kyle, you just said on Jeff Lewis Live, you don't know these hoes. Like, at least pretend that you guys are actually friends for the sake of the show, because the whole show is about friendships, forming female friendships, mending female friendships, what that looks like. And for you to get on the show and be like, I don't know these people, you even dissed Morgan Wade because that PR relationship contract is over. You were on Just Lewis being like, she's just a chick in the rotation. She's just one of the many people I text every day. You were just like, Morgan's on rotation. She's just a chick on the roster because that contract is over. So Kyle, girl, stop. But let's watch what she had to say on Amazon Live, and then we'll get into more of the specifics All right, here we go.
H asks, how would you describe the reunion in 5 words? I don't even know. Torture is one word. Um, Anxiety provoking. It's 2 words. Sorry. Stressful, scary, emotional. You know. Okay. Who do you think got the most heat at the reunion? Well, I would say I was definitely in the hot seat a lot. I would say. Yeah, I think Dorit was. I mean, gosh, I think Sutton. H says, other than your own, whose reunion look was your fave? Whose reunion look was my fave? I am going to go with Garcelle and Erika. I'll pick 2. Do you feel any sense of resolve by the end of the reunion? Yes, I did, for sure. I felt better leaving than going, absolutely, which is always my goal, which is why last year was so depressing to me and so sad. I've never had, that was by far the worst reunion. Leaving there, we didn't even take a picture. We didn't hug. We didn't cheer. Nothing. And we usually go out after to eat or something. No, we were there too late. I just went home and cried. Oh well. Okay, so.
So again, Kyle playing the victim. She seemed a little. Now, you guys, this is the human in me. She seemed a little sad and down and just, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Kyle fan, but just human to human, woman to woman, I think that Kyle needs to take a break and really focus on herself. Not even no kiki, none of that. In real human to human, I think she needs to take a pause and really just focus on herself and getting her mind right, because something isn't, I don't know, something's a little off, a little tick tick, I don't know. And I want her to be good in a real human way. So that's kind of how I feel about that. But let me know what you guys think on Kyle spilling the tea on season 13 reunion spoilers and bombshells. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to me breaking down how season 13 reunion is going to be all about Kyle versus the girls. So first, let's talk about Kyle versus Dorit, okay? Here we go. So this is according to All About the Real Housewives tea. It says, after a rocky season in their friendship, Kyle Richards and Dorit Kemsley weren't in the best place when they filmed the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13 reunion. Both Kyle and Dorit have had a rough season on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The two longtime stars have spent a majority of the seasons going through issues in their respective marriages. While Kyle Richards felt out of the loop with her husband Mauricio, Dorit, on the other hand, felt unsupported with her struggle with PTSD by husband Paul PK Kemsley. On top of that, Dorit and Kyle's friendship also found itself on rocky ground, with Dorit vocalizing that she felt estranged from Kyle amid her new friendship with country singer Morgan Wade. Dorit felt misplaced by Morgan. Dorit felt replaced by Morgan. On top of that, Dorit couldn't believe Kyle tattooed her initial on Morgan. She also didn't understand Kyle's new lifestyle that includes lots of working out and no drinking. If that weren't enough, Dorit also wondered why she had been replaced by Morgan as one of Kyle's travel buddies. Naturally, Kyle Richards wasn't happy with all of Dorit's comments. To start, Kyle called out Dorit for claiming they traveled together all of the time outside of filming for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. According to Kyle, she, Dorit, and their friends and their families went on one trip together in all of the years they had been friends. To put it bluntly, it's just an exaggeration, Kyle said on Amazon Live of Dorit's concerns about their friendship. Completely. I love Dorit, but it's not like, my friends. We'll go to the gym, we'll work out together, we hike together. She doesn't do that kind of stuff. So basically, Kyle is like, I don't really know you, chick. We went on one family vacation together. I film with you. Other than that, keep my name out your mouth. This is very, very different than how Kyle and Dorit have been in the past. Usually they've been bosom buddies. Usually, they've been bosom buddies. Usually they are couple friends. So Mauricio and PK used to be very, very close. So it's very interesting now how Kyle is basically being like, keep my name out your mouth. I don't really know you like that. I mean, I think the biggest elephant in the room for the entire season is how they want to talk about Kyle's marriage, but they don't want to talk about the rumor that Mauricio was sleeping with Dorit. And that all of a sudden, Kyle is like, keep my name out your mouth, Dorit. I don't really know you like that. That is the big elephant in the room. Like, hello. And then we have them, and by them, I mean Kyle and Dorit having conversations about Kyle's marriage, the state of Kyle's marriage on camera. And Kyle looks like she wants to pop Dorit in her face. She does. She looks like that. One, I think it's because she's like, I don't want to talk about this on camera. And number two, she's like, well, yeah, well, one of the reasons why me and my husband are beefing is because you were smelling him like you knew him in an intimate way. And I have a problem with that. And the entire internet thinks something is going on with you and him. Like, how did they not discuss that rumor at all? The only time they have ever addressed the rumor, and I'm not talking about the little stupid stuff on Watch What Happens Live where Dorit's like, oh no, my children call them Auntie Kyle and Uncle Mo. Again, how close they are. Was on the reunion last season, and Kyle was like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, and then they're saying that we're swingers and blah, 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 but we're just so close. Again, you kept saying how close the two couples were, but now it's like, I don't know, you keep my name out your mouth. Like, to me, that is the biggest housewives, juiciest housewives storyline in history. It's the most cliche, but that's what makes it so juicy. That you have two housewives who are best friends and who are couples friends. And word on the street is that one of the wives is sleeping with the other's wife's husband. That is the most cliche trope storyline ever, but that's what makes it so juicy. And the fact that they did not dive into that this season is a big reason why the season feels fake and off. I'm loving the key moments with the girls. I'm loving that it's lighter, but that's a big elephant in the room, you know? And that's why it's like, I'm pretty sure Sutton's like wanting to say it. Garcelle wants to say it. People want to say it, but nobody's really going there. It's a lot of red herring and smoke and mirrors about your marriage, about your working out, about not drinking. What about Dorit having sex with your husband? Like, come on. That's why Kyle now was like, keep my name out your mouth. Me and my family don't really know you like that. Okay. So then Kyle continued. She says, this is not to be shady, but we've only gone on one trip together as a couple that I can recall, Mo, PK, Dorit, and me. We did do Vegas together, that's true, but then we've been in London at the same time, but that was just flat out an exaggeration, Kyle added of Dorit's comments. She then took issue with Dorit's remarks about her friendship with Morgan. Dorit, obviously, we've gone through a bit of a hard time, she said. She said she felt replaced by Morgan, and I mean, I love Dorit. I mean that, but she's never been in the years since she joined the show that girl that I would call first in the morning or morning with or without or go to breakfast, Kyle explained. So Kyle basically was just like, I don't really know her like that. Meanwhile, just ahead of the filming of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13 reunion, Dorit opened up to the Daily Dish about the status of her friendship with Kyle. I'm not going into this reunion on the best terms with Kyle, Dorit admitted, noting that this was the first reunion where they were not in a great place. Dorit added, it hurts me and I got a lot of feelings and I really need to be open and honest because I care enough about our friendship and it's important to me that the air is cleared. In other news, Dorit reveals that her marriage to PK has improved since filming season 13. We had some really trying times, and there were definitely moments where I didn't know which way it was going to go, she confessed. That is a hard thing to swallow and live with, but things are great. Again, I'm pretty sure PK felt some type of way that the internet was thinking that you were having sex with his best friend Mauricio, because it cuts both ways. If the housewife is allegedly having an affair with the other housewife's husband, well, then that means the husband is having an affair with the other husband's wife. So it cuts both ways. In this situation, PK would be Kyle. So I'm sure he felt some type of way, especially men and their egos. Not to be sexist, but you know what I mean. The fact that the world thinks your best friend, whether the world thinks it or not, but that it's a question, that your best friend and almost business partner, because they were supposed to do a reality show together, but Mauricio said, "See ya, I'm going to Netflix." And he left PK holding the bag for their real estate show in the UK. But if it's going around that one of your really good friends, almost business partner, is sleeping with your wife, you're going to feel some type of way about your wife and about your friend, even if it's unfortunately that's how it is. I don't care how strong your marriage is or how strong your friendship is. That is going to take some type toll. If the relationship is strong and if it isn't true, then yes, you can bounce back, but don't act like it didn't have any effect, because it does. That's just reality. That's just humanity. That's just life. That's going to have some effect. So I think there's a lot going on with Dorit and PK. And do I think their marriage has improved a lot? No, I think that's a lie. In my humble opinion, I think Dorit's lying. I wouldn't be surprised if they file for divorce or if they just separate amicably. We're just going to separate for a while. He's going to move to the UK full times and she's going to stay in LA with the kids. I don't think, because nothing has changed. He's still traveling. Allegedly, he's still not living at home. So what has changed? I don't think their financial situation has gotten any better. So what has changed in the relationship? The issues that you had. Are you going to therapy? Is he taking it seriously? Like what's changed? I think Dorit wants to upgrade. I think she wants a younger, hotter, richer model of PK, because I think she feels that she's glowed up, and she has money well spent. Dorit is a beautiful woman, money well spent. I think she thinks that she's glowed up herself, and I think she is tired of doing alleged insurance scams to pay off his gambling debt. I think she knows that her children are getting older and her children are understanding more. And I think that she wants to protect her children in a certain way. And I think she wants more of a guaranteed lifestyle. So I think she wants to find a guy who has real money. And I think she doesn't want her children to be exposed to the schemes and the scams anymore. That's what I think. Now, my thoughts on whether or not Kyle and Dorit really are friends. No, I don't think this friendship is really going to bounce back. Do I think they would fake it for an alliance? Yes. Do I think they would fake it to get their diamonds back next season? Yes. But do I think that their friendship would ever go back to where it was? No. No, I don't. Because however I feel about Kyle or Dorit, prior to last season, I do think that they were genuinely friends. I think that Kyle was more of a friend to Dorit, and I think Dorit was more of, I need to be friends with Kyle in order to keep my diamond in the show. I know that if I'm close to Kyle, my position will be safe. So I do think that Dorit was close to Kyle because of opportunity and to give her cover on the show. And I think that Kyle really thought that Dorit was her friend as long as Dorit was being her yes person. You see what I'm saying? But I don't think that they'll really come back to any type of legitimate friendship. Will they fake it for an alliance? Yeah, because they want to keep their checks, they want to keep their diamonds, they want to keep their 15 minutes of fame on the show. That's what I think. So I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. What's going on with Kyle versus Dorit? Do you think they're really going to go head to head? And whose side are you on in their feud? Are you on Kyle's side or are you on Dorit's side? And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to Kyle versus Annemarie. So this fake alliance lasted all 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I do think that I don't know if Kyle and Annemarie will actually go at it at the reunion, but I don't think it's going to be Annemarie just being her mouthpiece. I think Annemarie might just sit there and be quiet and not say anything. If she's smart, that's what she'll do. But we have now seen the crack showing in this fake relationship, and we've also seen them publicly beef. So they publicly have had beef. Let's get into it, okay? So first, let's break down Kyle publicly beefing with Annemarie. So this is according to Reality T. It says Kyle Richards denies bringing Annemarie Wiley on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to, quote, do her dirty work. And I do have the video of this, so we'll go to the article and then we'll watch the video. After Annemarie's Wiley flop on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it seems like no one wants to take responsibility for her being cast in the first place. There were endless attacks on Sutton Streck's esophagus. Annemarie also made the bad call to discuss someone's private medical history on national television. She also tried to diagnose Sutton without giving her a proper exam, and the comments were so out of line that the American Society of Anesthesiologists issued a public response. The group dynamic was just as confusing as Annemarie's job description. There was a polite cordiality toward the newbie, but only Kyle Richards had a history or a friendship outside of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That is why Kyle was asked to respond to theories that she brought Annemarie on to do her dirty work, aka giving Sutton a hard time. Kyle appeared on the Jeff Lewis Live after show recently and was asked to respond to Annemarie's performance during her freshman season and the misconception that Kyle brought her in to do her dirty work. Host Jeff Lewis asked Annemarie, I was able to meet her at your white party, and I met she and her husband, and I really had a nice conversation with them, and I liked them. But now that I'm watching the show, she's not coming off great on the show. Do you agree? Is she the right fit? Now, Kyle, her response is shady as hell. I'll read it to you, but don't forget I have the video too. I met her one time. The Halloween Kill star said. They came to my home for an agency party, and I ended up speaking to her husband the whole time about how the whole time he was so nice, so funny, and she was very quiet. Given the allegations against her husband, I'm not surprised that he did the talking and she was quiet, but that's for another video. But then we were talking about who we could add to the show. I was like, oh, she's my neighbor. She lives on my street. And she just stuck out in my mind. Okay. I said this before and I'll say it again. I do think that Annemarie was a diversity hire. And when the casting came to Kyle and said, hey, we want to expand, more ethnicities or more races or whatever the case is, because I think they were trying to do damage control from last season with all of the homophobia and racism and yada, yada, yada crap that Lisa Rinna pulled against everybody. We don't need to go back down that dark train, but we all remember. I do think that they wanted to hire someone who was more diverse. And to me, it sounds like Kyle said, oh, I met this beautiful, rich Black woman once. Let's bring her on the show. Because why else? And I'm being serious. Why else would Kyle say, oh, I know this girl, Annemarie, that I met one time in my entire life. Let's bring her on the show. When Kyle has tons of friends. Doesn't make any sense. maybe her friends didn't fit a quota or the type that they were casting for. And I'm not saying this in a derogatory or mean or rude way. I'm just breaking down what I think the strategy or casting was, because why would Annemarie stand out to Kyle when she said, I met her one time, her husband was really nice, and she was very quiet? That sounds like a great person for the housewives. That doesn't make any sense. You would be like, oh my God, I met this person, this woman. She had the most outgoing personality. She could read. She was funny. She was great. She told great stories. She would be a perfect fit for the show. That would make sense. But Kyle said, I met this chick one time. She was quiet. And then I said, oh, she would be great for the show. Why? Diversity hire. I've said that before and I'll say it again. That's what I think. And I also think it was a part of their whole strategy. Anyway, and again, Kyle isn't even trying to pretend like this show is real anymore. She's not even trying to pretend like this show is real. First, she said on Just Lewis Live, I don't talk to these hoes outside of filming. I don't know what's going on in their house. They need to stop asking me what's going on in my house. So she right there says it's fake. I only talk to them when we're filming. Now she's saying, I met this chick once and said she should be on the show. I thought she came on your show as your friend, Annemarie. You guys are so close. You work out together. She's so cool. Okay. And also, again, in this interview, Jeff Lewis and Kyle are contradicting each other. Jeff said that he met Annemarie at Kyle and Mauricio's white party. Kyle said she met Annemarie and her husband at an agency party. Those are two different parties. Her white party, remember she used to have them almost every single season? That's just a fun party that they have. That's not an agency party. So which is it? Was Annemarie and her husband at one of your white parties? Or did you meet Annemarie and her husband at an agency party? Because those are two different parties. So the two of you just contradicted each other. Get your story straight. Anyway. So it only takes living near Kyle to be considered on the show. Duly noted. Despite only meeting once, Annemarie made a very favorable impression on Kyle. Sure. And I wonder why. Kyle reached out first. I reached out to her about joining the show, and she was very nice, very outspoken, really into fitness, and I just thought she was cool, and she was very opinionated, Kyle continued. After the first time you met her and you said she was quiet? Kyle, stop lying. That doesn't mean that Annemarie gets a passing score from Kyle for her freshman season, right? Because Kyle now has to distance herself from Annemarie because Annemarie has gotten herself so deep in the doo-doo. Rather, the child star thinks Annemarie didn't handle herself great in some of these situations. Why? Morgan Wade's biggest fans said, you've got to see the balance of other things too. Jeff agreed that Annemarie's initial tactic was miscalculated. I think it was a little too for her to be a brand new housewife. You have to ingratiate yourself, he said. That's hard. She came in hot. Kyle agreed. So again, Kyle was like, you came in hot, you didn't have balance, and I don't really know you like that. Rather than bond with the girls and form friendships, Annemarie seemed laser focused on putting Sutton in the hot seat. You can't go after them right away. And then what I'm noticing too is the other girls who have relationships are defending Sutton, Jeff added. I mean, of course. Of course, the other girls are defending Sutton because Sutton is their friend. Sutton has been their coworker longer. And Annemarie, nobody knows you, boo-boo, and you don't have the position that you think you have to, go after the girls like that. And Kyle, you're lying, in my opinion, because we saw you on the show. We saw you on the show talking to Annemarie about Sutton and her esophagus. This was when either you came over her house or she came over to your house, one of the two. And you guys were kikiing. And Annemarie was like, well, that's not medically true. Like, I'm an anesthesiologist and medically speaking, I'm going to have to talk to her about this. And Kyle had a smirk on her face and was laughing and was like, okay, yeah. So we saw on camera you puffing up Annemarie to go after Sutton. We saw it on camera. So to be like you didn't want her to be your mouthpiece, that's a lie. And of course, Annemarie is going to unfortunately think that she has to be your mouthpiece to protect her position on the show. The problem with Annemarie is that she's not. Shout out to Wendy Williams. She's less than smart when it comes to strategy. She might be book smart. She might be a nurse. Sure, cool, whatever. Not knocking nurses, obviously. Much respect, much respect. I'm just talking about Annemarie personally, not nurses in general. They are brilliant, amazing, wonderful people. What I mean is that she didn't realize that coming out the gate being Kyle's mouthpiece wasn't going to do her any favors, especially the way she went about it. But let's see Kyle talking about it herself, being basically, again, Kyle being like, I don't know you. Keep my name out your mouth. I met you once. See you never. Okay? Here we go.
Annemarie, I was able to meet her at your white party, and I met she and her husband, and I really had a nice conversation with them, and I liked them. But now that I'm watching the show, she's not coming off great on the show. Do you agree? Is she the right fit?
Listen, here's another misconception. I've read some things like Kyle brought in Annemarie to do her dirty work. Mm-hmm. I met her. I love when people say these things. I met her one time. They came to my home for an agency party, and I ended up speaking to her husband the whole time, who was so nice, so funny, and she was very quiet. But then when we were talking about who could add to the show, I was like, oh, and she's my neighbor. She lives on my street, and they just stuck out in my mind. So she's very, when I think the first time I saw her, actually, is when she joined the show after that, So I reached out to her about joining the show, and she was very nice, very outspoken, really into her, fitness. And I just thought she was cool, and she was very opinionated. I mean, I think she didn't handle herself great in some of these situations. And I think when you have something like that, you've got to see the balance of other things too. And I don't think we really got to see that. So,
I think it was a little too for her to be a brand new housewife. You have to ingratiate yourself. That's hard.
She came in hot.
You have to bond with the girls.
Right.
You have to form friendships.
Yeah.
You can't go after them right away. And then what I'm noticing too is the other girls who have relationships are defending Sutton.
You're damn right. And I'm defending Sutton too. Team Sutton on this one. And then we had Annemarie. I was looking for the clip, but I couldn't find it. But watch her on Watch What Happens Live. So we haven't really heard Annemarie say anything against Kyle, but now she is. So she was on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy Cohen said something about the reunion and how did it go. And he was asking her about different women. And they got to Kyle. And Annemarie said, yeah, Kyle really needs to calm down. She's just got a lot going on. She needs to calm down. And I was like, whoa, Annemarie talking against Kyle. And then I also think she spoke against her during the after shows as well, which I thought was really telling because, prior to filming, during the season, she is so far up Kyle's butt. She is basically in her esophagus. See what I did there? You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden on Watch What Happens Live and on the after shows, which we know they film after they film because that's why it's called the after show. They're watching it and then they give their opinion on the show. She's changing her tune. And I'm sure she's changing her tune because Kyle is out here being like, I don't know you. I met this chick once. She came in hot and she's out of pocket. I don't know her like that. I didn't tell her to be my mouthpiece. When, yeah, you did. We saw it ourselves. And Annemarie is probably looking like, no, Kyle, we had a lot of conversations where you told me to go after Sutton and you told me to come and to be your mouthpiece. And that's why Annemarie now is like, well, Kyle needs to calm down. She has a lot going on in her own life. And I was like, wow, never thought I'd hear the day where Annemarie would go against Kyle. And that's why I think this season was the girls versus Kyle, except for Annemarie. But now I think it's going to just be all the girls versus Kyle. There might be little, oh my God, I love you here and there. But underneath it, none of these women are really checking for Kyle. She's very much on an island by herself. When Annemarie is being like, you need to calm down, you know that there's a problem. You know that there's a rift. So I want to know what you guys think, when it comes to Kyle versus Annemarie, whose side are you on? I never thought I would say it, but I'm actually on Annemarie's side. Not just because of Kyle, not just because of goodbye Kyle, vile Kyle, but the reason why I'm on Annemarie's side, and I want to know what you guys think, put it down below on this, is because I do think, in my opinion, off camera, Kyle 100% put it in Annemarie's ear. You come on as my friend. You have my back. You go after Sutton. You say this, this, and this. I got you, girl. And then that's exactly what Annemarie did. She had her marching orders. She went over the top. She was out of pocket. She was too much. She has a weird, and even beyond that, she has a very weird energy about her, a very weird personality. Like there's just something, like she has like a twitch or something. I don't know. There's just something very like, are there any lights on in the upstairs room when it comes to her? A very weird energy personality in general, which I think was amplified by the fact that she came in so hot as Kyle's, mouthpiece. So if I'm Annemarie, I would feel some type of way. Like, no, you made it clear to me what I had to do to be on the show. I did what you told me to do. And now you're out here being like, I don't know you. I don't know why she was so crazy. I don't know why she did that when that's what you told me. Don't be loyal to a fault. Don't march off the cliff thinking that somebody's going to catch you when you don't really have that loyalty to them. So I feel bad for Annemarie because I do think her naivete got the best of her. I think if she just would have went on the show and was just herself, how weird it is. Like Sutton is an acquired taste. She's kind of odd and weird and whatever, but I love that about her, she's quirky. So you can be your authentic self. I'm a little weird. I'm quirky too. I'm quirky too. So join the club. So you can be your authentic self and be liked for it. And I think that she did herself a disservice by being Kyle's mouthpiece. And then now Kyle is being like, I don't know you. I don't know why you did that. So that's why I'm Team Annemarie. But put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to Kyle. Wait, actually, before we do that, hey, Tay-Tay, and she went after Crystal. That's a very good point. Very, very good point. So Annemarie did also target and go after Crystal, which is the two housewives that Kyle has the most public beef with. I think she had a private beef with Dorit that escalated and all of that stuff, but she's had the most public long-term beefs with Sutton and Crystal. And that's a really good point. Annemarie went for Sutton and Crystal very, very specifically against them. And I do think that had a lot to do with what Kyle putting a bug in her ear, winding her up, and sending her to do her dirty work. And again, I talked about diversity hire. I also think a reason why, and Kyle does have a lot of pull. Another reason why I think Kyle wanted a person of color to come in as her mouthpiece is because she did want them to go after Crystal. And Crystal has had a lot of talk about Sutton being really dark and, evading to like her saying like racist things, and how Sutton and how Crystal didn't feel safe in the group with anybody else. But if another person of color goes for Crystal, then what can Crystal say? She can't say it's dark. She can't say it's because she's Asian. No. It's another person of color going after her. You can't do that. And I'm not being, disrespectful. I'm just being like honest about how things work and about how people get cover and about how people have strategy and about how people want to go about things. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's not a judgment call. I'm just being honest about how things work. You see what I'm saying? So I really think that Kyle put a battery into Annemarie's back, go after Sutton, go after Crystal. And it didn't work. It was a flop. I agree, Amy Rhodes, 100%. She said, I'm convinced it was supposed to be a Sutton takedown this year, but it backfired. Exactly. It actually became Sutton's year because Sutton had the Spain trip and everything. We're going to get to Sutton in a little bit. But I agree 100%. So with that, you guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So let's move on to Kyle versus Sutton. So this has been the feud of the entire season. They have been feuding for that HBIC spot on the show. As we all believe, at least I believe, Sutton clearly won that. This was basically Kyle's takedown season instead of Sutton's takedown season. I think that Garcelle solidified herself as the anchor of the show. By that, I mean the relationships now are flowing through Garcelle. Garcelle and Sutton are so close. Garcelle and Erika now have a really good friendship. Garcelle and Crystal have pretty much always been cool. Annemarie is a non-factor. Garcelle going against Dorit, and Dorit is the one looking bad. So Garcelle is really solidified as the anchor of the show, but I think that Sutton is the HBIC of the show. You know what I mean? She's really taking over as that girl on the show, and I think Kyle is pissed about that. I also think Kyle is pissed that Sutton chose Kathy's side last season. Oh, she was like, Sutton just wants to be friends with Kathy because Kathy has all the parties and blah, 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 blah. Well, yeah, I mean, no tea, no shade, but I would prefer to be friends with Kathy Hilton if I had to decide. Who wouldn't? Come on, girl. Come on. And Sutton knew Kathy before she knew you. So I think that there has been a big fight over power dynamics. I think that's really the crux of the issue between these two women. It is a power play on each woman's side. Sutton is going for that I'm the HBIC diamond, and Kyle is clinging on to being the HBIC diamond. I don't mean fan favorite, I don't mean fan favorite. I mean like the HBIC in strategy and gathering the girls and hosting the trips. Like Sutton was the one who hosted the trip this season, and a lot of everything revolved around Sutton this season, right? Because Kyle really has held that position. Doesn't mean she's been a fan favorite, but she has held that position. She's been Andy's favorite and the executive's favorite, so she has held that position. So let's get into it a little bit more. So this is from Reality Blurb. It says Sutton Strack is clapping back at Kyle Richards for noting that she had never mentioned Merce Cunningham before the trip and suggesting she used his ash spreading as an excuse to go to Spain on last week's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show. During an appearance on Watch What Happens Live on Wednesday, Sutton spoke of her friendship with Kyle, reacted to Annemarie Wiley being called out by the American Society of Anesthesiologists, and labeled Erika Jayne's letting go moment as awkward, while also sharing her thoughts on Crystal Carmichael's apology to Erika and shading Kyle's claims about Merce. I'm going to get into what she said, and then again, I'm going to tell you why Kyle has lost it. Kyle is risking it all right now, but we'll get into that. She goes, I think it's par the curse for Kyle with me, Sutton replied on the February 7th episode. But I wanted to say that I had an opportunity. My very good friend Trevor lives in Barcelona. So when we talked about this trip with production, I said, my really good friend lives in Barcelona. And then I've been holding on to Merce's ashes, not knowing what to do with them. Board members were like, oh, I'm at the scene. I'm here at the Lincoln Center. And I'm like, I could put him in my backyard. That doesn't seem very romantic. It was also a very altruistic moment for me. So it was not a reason to do it. I wouldn't do it. I'm not like that, Sutton clarified. So basically, Sutton was like, look, I was talking to production about hosting the trip. I had some friends in Spain. I had some ashes I needed to throw. It was a perfect opportunity. On Watch What Happens Live after show, Sutton was asked about ASA's diss against Annemarie and where they stand today. Okay, before I get into Sutton and Annemarie, Kyle really is trying to risk it all. I said it earlier in the video, but it bears repeating. Kyle, this is the third time Kyle is basically saying this show is fake. I don't know if she's doing it on purpose. I don't know if she's doing it subconsciously. I don't know. But this is the third time Kyle has publicly basically said the show is fake. The first time was when she was on Jeff Lewis Live. sorry if I'm repeating myself, was on Jeff Lewis Live when she basically said, I don't really know these hosts. We don't interact or know anything about each other's lives. I see them when I'm filming, and when we're not filming, I don't really see them like that. Okay. So she made it very clear. These are my coworkers. These are not my friends. I don't care if we pretend to be friends on the show. We're not. I don't know these people. Right? Second time, also on Jeff Lewis Live After Show, she said, I only met Annemarie once. I don't know that chick. I met her. Her husband was nice. She was quiet. And I said, hey, she lives around the block. Let's bring her on the show. I thought Kyle and Annemarie were friends. And that's why she brought Annemarie on the show. Because the show is supposed to be about friends, right? And bringing your friends on the show. Kyle was like, I don't know this chick. I met her once at a party. Okay. Now, third time, she's basically telling us the show is fake. Ugh, I never heard of Merce. I never talked about Merce. She just needed an excuse to go on a trip. Well, I thought the show was supposed to be real, about their real lives and all of this stuff. Kyle basically said she just needed a reason to go to Spain to host the girls' trip, and so she lied and brought up Merce, that he's so close, as an excuse. So that was basically trying to expose Sutton Merce Ash's storyline as fake and as a lie. And just being like, yeah, she needed just a reason. I think she said this on the after show with Erika Jane. So Kyle has said multiple times now, the show is fake. We're not friends. I don't know these people. And everybody's lying to make up storylines to have events and to have reasons to do stuff. Kyle is unhinged. She is wild. She's out here doing the absolute most. She's unhinged. Unhinged. Like, when you're doing press, which is what Jeff Lewis Live technically is, it's press, you're supposed to pretend that the show is real, Kyle. When you're doing the after show, and again, I don't know who allowed this edit in, you're supposed to pretend that the show is real, Kyle. You're supposed to at least pretend. But Kyle is out here risking it all and being like, I don't know these chicks, and they're all lying. So, whatever. All right, now let's get to Sutton and Annemarie. She goes, well, Annemarie and I were not friends when we started, and I wouldn't consider her a friend today. I met her, and she kind of attacked me from the very beginning. So, yay for whatever that association is that got her, but I'm not a part of that war, she explained. Sorry if I'm butchering her southern accent. I don't want to be a part of any of that. It's just me and my esophagus here, people. We talk daily, and my esophagus and I want to stay out of it. We're good. Back on the live broadcast, a fan questioned Sutton about Kyle's potential apology to her, noting that she had said she was sorry for not being a better friend to Kyle during their visit to a chapel. I don't think that I'm looking for an apology. For me, it was just about apologizing to her because I don't think that I was a good friend and I don't need an apology, Sutton shared. Then, when asked about Kyle not being ready to talk about her marriage issues with Mauricio Umansky, Sutton admitted she expected more. I wish that Kyle would have been more open with us. I think personally, I was very open with a lot of my feelings this season, and I kind of expected her to be more open with all of us, she noted. During Wednesday's episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Erika was seen calling out the group for their lack of support amid her legal drama. I'm going to skip this part because we're going to get more into it on Erika's section. So there's all that. But that's basically the nuts and bolts of the feud between Kyle and Sutton. So I'm very, very interested to see at the reunion a couple of things. One, does Kyle take any accountability in the demise of her friendship and relationship with Sutton? Two, I'm really curious to see the dynamic between Kathy and Sutton at the reunion. Because don't forget, at the very beginning of the season, at the dinner party, Sutton said, you already lost two sisters. Do you want to lose another one or a third? And then Kyle was like, that was so low. And then Sutton talks about how Kathy had called her and chewed her out over not supporting her in the media and all of this stuff and how Kathy yelled, but they got back together. So I'm very curious to see what the dynamic will be between Kathy and Sutton. Will they still be on good terms? Will it be a fake nice? Will Kathy just have Kyle's side? Is she going to come in? So I'm really curious to see what that is going to look like between them. But when it comes to Kyle versus Sutton, whose side are you on? You guys know I'm a Sutton girl. I'm a Sutton girl. So I'm team Sutton on this one. I think Sutton came in guns blazing. She's interesting. She showed up. She did her job. Kyle, I think, is just grasping at straws. And I think that Kyle is threatened that Sutton is going to snatch her HIB diamond crown. In my opinion, she snatched it. Garcelle snatched it too. Garcelle snatched it as the anchor of the show, and Sutton snatched it as the HBIC of the show. Kyle doesn't have any position on the show anymore. What position does she have? She doesn't have that power that she used to have. Seemingly, at least. But I want to know what you guys think, so put it down below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to Kyle versus Erika. So, as we all know, Kyle and Erika have always had a very convenient friendship, an alliance friendship, a faux Fox 5 friendship, where Kyle has, I would say prior to this season, Kyle has had a very coveted, protected position where people around her have been yes people. Erika pretty much was her yes person, Dorit and Teddy and Annemarie. And for the very first time, we are seeing Erika speak out against Kyle. This is happening for a couple of reasons, and then I'll get into what Erika said at Watch What Happens Live, and then Kyle's flip-flop response and why I think Kyle is now flip-flopping. Okay. The reason why I think that Erika, for the first time, is speaking out against Kyle is because, number one, Lisa Rinna got fired. And I think when Lisa Rinna got fired, that was the true cutting off the head of the snake. And that was the true demise of the faux Fox 5. Because I think Lisa really was the puppet master. I think Kyle thought she was, but the person really pulling the strings was Lisa Rinna. Okay? So when she got fired, I think they put everybody on notice. Ship up or shape the hell out. Because I don't think any of them thought that they really were going to fire Rinna. But they did. And I think that put everybody on notice, including Erika. That we got to break it up. We got to chop it up a bit. The fans are noticing. It's a huge deal. This alliance isn't okay. Secondly, I think the fact that Erika now feels she has cover with Garcelle and Sutton, because we did a whole video on this. Don't forget that the new trio is Garcelle, Sutton, and Erika. Even on the trip, Garcelle and Erika are fighting over who's Sutton's best friend when the Sutton is doing the whole, who knows me the best and blah, 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 blah. Because I told you Sutton is the new HBIC. That's why they're doing a whole game called Who Knows Sutton the Best. Okay? And who wanted to win it? Erika. Who would have ever thought that would have happened? And then Sutton, Erika, and Garcelle, I'm not going to lie. I do feel some type of way about Erika when it comes to the money and the victims. I'm going to compartmentalize that and put that in a corner. When it comes to Erika, Sutton, and Garcelle hanging out, to me, they are a complete vibe. I think they're fun. I think they're funny. I actually enjoy Erika. I think they're a vibe. I love the trio way more than I love the faux Fox 5. And so I think the fact that Erika now feels safe with Garcelle and Sutton, even though the reason why they were on the outs was because of her alliance to Lisa Rinna, that's the real reason why they never got along. I think that now that Lisa Rinna is gone and that Garcelle and Sutton have taken Erika in, she feels that she's safe enough and she has enough cover to start being honest with Kyle about how she really feels and to push back against Kyle. That's what I really think is going on, because we've never had Erika, other than the whole, I don't give a damn about anybody but myself, booze and pill meltdown in Aspen. Erika has never gone against Kyle, ever. But now she is. So let's listen to Kyle's response to Erika going after her. This is from Collider. It says, Kyle Richards is offended by Erika Jayne. Okay. Kyle Richards didn't love that Erika Jayne said she needed to be eviscerated at the season 13 reunion of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. While Erika was on Watch What Happens Live, she told host Andy Cohen that she wanted to see Richards in the hot seat. As somebody who got eviscerated, I like to see everybody get the same treatment. I love her, Jane said. She's a dear friend to me, but fair is fair. So, this is the first time Erika is being honest about the favoritism. She's being honest, and she basically said, look, I get treated one way, Kyle gets treated another way. I want her to be treated the way I'm treated. That's why she said, I would like to see everybody get the same treatment. I've never heard Eric ever talk about how Kyle has been favored and protected, you know? So she's really coming out and saying it. She's like, look, I like her, but I'm tired of her getting special treatment. If you're going to treat me one way, you need to treat her one way. While talking with E! News during the interview with her daughter Sophia, Kyle acknowledged that she understood where Jane was coming from, but that didn't mean that she wasn't upset by her comments. With Erika, with all these years she's been on the show, she's been my friend and she's never stabbed me in the back, Richards told the outlet. She's always been supportive and I really trust her and I consider her a friend. And I'm not going to lie, that stung. It hurt me. I think I have a clip of Kyle talking about this too, so I'll play that after the article. To Kyle's credit, she also noted that she was having a hard week. So when she heard what Jane had said about her, she took it to heart. Because I'm having a hard week as it is, so I was a little sensitive when I heard that, Kyle said. Whether that was alluding to whatever happened between her and Morgan Wade, fans will have to wait and see. Well, guess what, Kyle? You're not the only person who have bad days. We all have bad days. Doesn't mean you're not going to be accountable and held to the same standard as not just your friends but your coworkers. I get it. I'm like, listen up, boss. If you are going to treat my coworker A type of way, then you need to treat coworker B a type of way, because at the end of the day, the dynamics should be professional. And this is actually a case where people should be unbiased. Not us YouTubers. We can be as biased as we want to be because we're sharing our opinion. But people like Andy Cohen at the reunion, who's hosting it in a professional capacity, should be unbiased and treat everybody the same because it's a different situation. If I were Andy Cohen and hosting a reunion, then in that capacity, I would be 100% unbiased and hold everybody to the same standard. But if I'm on my YouTube channel, I'm gonna say it like I mean it. Shout out to Wendy Williams because it's my YouTube channel. You see? So Andy Cohen does need to be more unbiased, and I agree with Erika. He does need to treat everybody the same. If you're going to give it to her, you need to give it to Kyle. But I would be honest with you, I think Andy even goes light on Erika. But that's for a whole nother topic, you know? It goes on to say, fans also want to see Kyle Richards held accountable. The reality is Erika was forced to face fire of not only Cohen, but all of her fellow housewives amid her marital issues and her husband's legal troubles. They forced Erika to answer the tough questions. Kyle recognizes this and understood where Erika was coming from when she said that to Cohen. I believe that she went through such a hard time last year, Richards went on to say. She was just kind of saying to Andy, you basically tortured me, torture everyone else the same. Richards also revealed that Jane did warn her before the episode of Watch What Happens Live aired. Okay, so I have the clip. Let's watch the clip, and then I'm going to tell you what I really think is going on between Erika and Kyle. Okay, here we go.
Erika Jayne said she wanted you to be eviscerated in the reunion. Who uses a bellicose word like that?
Well, everybody was so upset about that, you know, like fans and followers messaging me, and even my friends were. But Erika's such a great friend to me. I love her and I trust her and I adore her, and I know what she meant when she said that. What she meant in that moment was that she felt annihilated last year. So she was basically saying, like, if, you know.
Oh, I'd like it to be someone else now.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I really didn't take it like that because I know her so well. And I mean, this is someone I trust telling everything to. She's never stabbed me in the back. She's always supported me. So, you know, after this many years, I'm like, if I were to get offended every single time,
Yeah.
I mean,
No, you'd be. There's a
can't.
reason you're still rocking.
I can't get offended as much as I used to or hurt as much as I used to.
Kyle, girl, I mean, the lack of self-awareness, it's astonishing. It's astonishing. So she's basically flip-flopping. 1 minute she's offended and she's hurt by Erika's words. The next minute she's like, well, no, I understand what she was coming from, blah, blah, blah. Girl, this is why you flip-flopped. You, and by you, I mean Kyle. Kyle, you know that you are on an island by yourself. And you are looking to salvage any alliance you can to ensure you get your diamond back next season and also to ensure that you have people on your side next season. That's why now you're flip-flopping because it can't be both ways. I mean, I guess it could. You're like, I'm hurt by that and I'm so offended by it. Oh, but I get why she said it. Kyle, if somebody said they wanted me eviscerated, I would feel some type of way. I get it. But I think the reason why she's backtracking is because she needs allies. She can't burn every bridge. That's why she also said earlier, oh, I think me and Dorit will be close again. What? You done talked all types of crap about Dorit. Basically being like, I don't know you, keep my name out your mouth. You did Dorit dirty. You did Dorit dirty the same way you did Annemarie dirty. You told both of these chicks, I don't know you, keep my name out your mouth. That's pretty much what Kyle said to both of these women. But now, because I doubt Annemarie's coming back, I doubt her and Sutton will be on good terms. She doesn't have Garcelle. She doesn't have Crystal. You know, I'm not sure I'm going to trust Kyle to bring a newbie on next season. It might be somebody else's friend, quote, friend coming on as a newbie. Kyle knows she needs alliances. And the best people to make those alliances with are the people that she had the full Fox 5 alliance with before. Someone who still might have a sense of some type of loyalty to you, some type of allegiance to you. I think Kyle doesn't want to burn down every single bridge of every woman she has on the cast. So I think it's a bit of damage control. Let me make sure Erika's on my side. Let me at least say I'll be close to Dorit again so that I have some sort of cover for next season. You know, they always say the person who is on their own island, who nobody likes, who nobody is friends with, they're the ones who are the ones to go. I don't think the women would ever do like a ice Kyle out and not film with her. I don't think that they would ever do that the way they've done it on other shows like Potomac and Married to Medicine and stuff like that. I don't think in Atlanta, I don't think that they would do that to Kyle, but I do think it would be more of a tougher decision, and especially with negotiations, if she has no one on the cast. Do you know what I mean? So I think she's flip-flopping now. I do think she felt some type of way about Erika saying you need to hold Kyle accountable, because anytime anybody says, Kyle, you need to be held accountable, she loses her damn mind. She cut Dorito off, you know, for saying, hey, could you take some accountability with your Kathy situation? She cut her all the way off for saying that. You know? So that's what I really think is going on here. But I want to know what you guys think when it comes to Kyle versus Erika. In the reunion, do you think that they are going to still have each other's back, faux Fox 4 style? Or do you think Erika is going to be more on the side of the trio? She's going to be more Sutton and Garcelle. And do you believe that Kyle understands why Erika said she needs to be eviscerated? Or do you think she really felt some type of way, the way she initially said she was hurt and offended by it, right? So let's see what you guys think about that. Hey, Tay Tay. Tay Tay said they iced out LVP and Denise, so you can imagine Kyle icing herself out of the group. That will be karma. Very, very well said. 100%. So I agree. And then, hey, Janet. Janet says, my favorite are Garcelle, Sutton, and Crystal because Erika's niceness can't be trusted. I agree. I think that Erika is now being nice and kind and amicable and with the trio out of self-preservation. She now knows that Kyle is no longer the strongest foundation on the show. Garcelle and Sutton have become the strongest foundation on the show. So, just from a self preservation perspective, you want to align yourself with the strongest foundation. So, of course, now she wants to align herself with Garcelle and Sutton because they are more in favor with the public and probably even with the network at this point. You know? So there's that. Hey, Sierra Content. Sierra says, I'm just happy that Kyle, Erika, Dorit, Lisa Rinna alliance ended along with the Cynthia, Candy, and Kenya alliance. The evil has been defeated. Whoop! You better preach it, Sierra. You better preach it. So with that, let me know what you guys think. Whose side are you on when it comes to Kyle versus Erika? For me, it's a truce. I'm not on either of their side. They both can skip rocks. But put it down below and let me know what you guys think. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So this one's super quick. It's going to be Kyle versus Crystal and Garcelle. And it's not even so much versus Crystal and Garcelle. It's not a big of a deep dive for this one because Kyle never has rocked with Crystal. So that just is what it is. And I think that Garcelle is indifferent to Kyle. And I think that Kyle has so much going on. She doesn't want the smoke from Garcelle. So I think it's going to be very neutral territory when it comes to Kyle versus Garcelle. And I think it's going to be same old with Kyle versus Crystal. They never liked each other. They've never rocked. But I think that Kyle's going to have bigger fish to fry and more people coming after her than Crystal and Garcelle at the reunion. Okay. Now, I was going to do this one, but I want to do another one first. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have heard this, but allegedly Sutton Strack was rushed to the hospital during the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. She left allegedly in an ambulance and Garcelle left with her. Okay. So this is according to Monsters and Critics. It says the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13 reunion was filmed a few days ago, and there was drama on and off the set. We know that Kathy Hilton made a surprise appearance after being MIA all season, and we can't wait to see how that interaction went down. However, the latest rumor from the reunion is that Sutton Strack had a medical emergency and was left in an ambulance accompanied by her best friend, Garcelle Bouvet. We know that Sutton was put in the hot seat after being in the midst of the drama all season, and it seems by the end it was all too much for the Southern Belle. She had a tense altercation with Erika Jayne during their trip to Las Vegas and a few altercations with Kyle Richards about the state of her marriage. Most recently, however, she's been feuding with newbie Annemarie Wiley over her esophagus. We know. Nonetheless, it is no surprise that Sutton took the first chair beside Andy Cohen at the reunion, and seated beside her was Garcelle, then Crystal Minkoff. Again, even the seating chart at the reunion is confirming Sutton got first chair right across from Kyle. They are dueling for power. It is a power play. Who is going to have the most influence over the girls? The most power on the show? It is a power play between Sutton and Kyle. That is the true reason why they are beefing. It has nothing to do with Sutton's esophagus. It has nothing to do with Kyle's marriage. It is a power play. Who is going to be the most powerful chick on the cast? Okay? On the opposite side, OG Kyle Richards was in the hot seat beside Andy. Exactly. On both of his sides, it is Kyle versus Sutton, followed by Erika Jayne, Dorit, and last, Annemarie Wiley. Okay. Sutton left the reunion in an ambulance. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion proved a little too exhausting for Sutton, and she reportedly fell ill before they officially wrapped. So at the end of the reunion, before Andy got a chance to toast the women and officially close things out, Sutton was taken away to the hospital. Reality TV fan page at Your Moms Are Watching shared the news on their Instagram story entitled Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Reunion Tea. Sutton passed out and had to be taken to the hospital in an ambulance. Garcelle went with her, the post read. It was at the end of the reunion. They were going to toast with vodka grapefruits, but they didn't get to the toast. So I don't know if this is true. So far, Sutton hasn't confirmed the rumors about her hospitalization or given an update about her health. Meanwhile, Sutton had a recent chat with Us Weekly and was asked about the newbie that everyone's been talking about. However, Sutton seemed to be on the same page as the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans about not wanting Annemarie to return for a second season. During a game of Sip or Spill, Sutton was asked if she wanted Annemarie back, and she took a big gulp of her drink instead of answering the question. Oop. She also spoke about another controversial alum, Lisa Rinna, who left the show after season 12. As for whether Sutton missed filming with her former castmate, she gave a firm no. The dynamics have changed, and yeah, we had fun, reasoned Sutton. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Sutton really fell ill and passed out? Like, if she did, of course, Garcelle would go with her. Do you think I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I think if the rumor is true, that I'm just sending, love and get well soon wishes and all of that. Just look after your health. Who knows? Maybe it's not true. It hasn't been confirmed. Again, this is just a rumor of what happened. If it is true, what do you think caused it? Was it a panic attack, an anxiety attack? Quote, dehydration. They always love to say they're dehydrated. Do you think it has something to do with her esophagus? I mean, that would be full circle. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Sutton really fell out and she was rushed to the hospital? Or do you think this is just a weird, bogus rumor that people are putting out there? I personally hope it is just a rumor. I want Sutton and I want everybody to be healthy and happy and whole. So I hope this is a silly rumor and Sutton is doing great and she's fine. So put it down below and let me know what you guys think. All right. I'm going to do one more story and then I will drop the link. And always be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So let's talk about Kathy Hilton's Bravo return. Okay, so this is according to Deadline. All right, it says Kathy Hilton to return to Bravo via Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13 reunion surprise appearance. Everything is hunky-dory for Kathy Hilton as the socialite is set to return to Bravo. The Housewives reunited to discuss the season's drama, and Hilton dropped by as a surprise. Prepare to feel hunky-dory. Kathy Hilton makes a special appearance during the reunion coming soon. The official Bravo account on Instagram shared alongside a photo of Hilton posing outside of her trailer. Hilton has made sporadic appearances on the Bravo reality series throughout its history, as her sisters Kyle and Kim Richards were original cast members. Paris Hilton's mother joined the show in an official manner as a friend of seasons 11 and 12. After a fallout with her sister Kyle and a feud with her co-star Lisa Rinna, Hilton took a step back and opted not to come back for season 13. Although Hilton didn't film for the Bravo show, she did stay in the NBCU family at large and was featured heavily in Peacock's Paris in Love season 2. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13 reunion was filmed in LA on Friday, January 26th, and Bravo shared the cast seating chart. Kyle and Sutton Stracke were seated in the coveted seats closest to Andy Cohen. Next to Kyle were Erika Jane, Dorit Kemsley, and Annemarie Wiley. Over on Stracke's couch, Garcelle Bouvet and Crystal Kong Minkoff kept her company. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So these are the questions I have about Kathy being on the reunion. Number one, it better make sense and not be a weird and random nothing burger, because Kathy did not film. So what are you going to talk about, Kathy? So I don't want it to be a stunt situation for the reunion where it's like, oh my God, Kathy's coming back, everybody watch, and it's a big nothing burger. 2, I don't want it to be Kathy defending Kyle in any capacity. Kathy, don't come for Erika. Don't come for Crystal. Don't come for Sutton. Let Kyle deal with it on her own. Now, I've heard that it's really going to be about Kyle and Kathy healing their sisterhood on the reunion. Again, and I love Kathy, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, I'm confused. We don't need Kathy healing her sister relationship with Kyle at the reunion. If you want to do a spin-off show, if you want to do a special, if you wanted to actually be on the season, cool, cool, cool. But I don't need the reunion to be a time where Kathy Hilton comes to mend things with Kyle when you weren't on the season. I love Kathy. I really like Kathy, but I'm not sure that it makes sense for her to be on the reunion. So I really hope it's not some weird stunt casting that makes zero sense and she's really just on there to plug a project or to defend Kyle or to have this like sisterly makeup, which it has to be one of those things. I'm leaning towards it promoting some type of project along with a kumbaya moment between Kyle and Kathy. I don't need it. I don't want it. I want the reunion to be about what happened on the show. I want the reunion to be about these women. I'm so tired of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills basically being like, Iyanna, fix my life. I don't need these family, trauma therapy sessions on every single reunion or that being a storyline in every single show. Go on Iyanna, fix my life. Let Iyanna fix Kim, Kathy, and Kyle and leave us alone on Beverly Hills. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. That's just where I stand. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion. So, Kathy, if you come on, I only want you to be funny, throw some shade, sure, kiki with Kyle, push your little project, and then keep it popping. Other than that, I don't want this stunt casting. If you had been on the show, then yes, I would have wanted you to come. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you looking forward to Kathy being on the reunion, even though she did not appear on this season? Why do you think she's showing up? How do you think the interaction is going to be? Let's see what happens. So let me know what you guys think. Put it down below. And always be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, all right, I'll share one more story and then I'll drop the link. So my prediction for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13 is that Erika Jayne is going to continue to throw a pity party that nobody RSVP'd to or showed up for. Girl, bye. Sit down and have several seats. So this is according to All About the Real Housewives. It says Erika Jayne is annoyed her co-stars didn't apologize after Diamond Earrings victory. Number one, before we get into the article, it's not a legal victory. What she did, and we'll get a little bit more into it, is they appealed the decision to have the $1 million, 750K earrings, whatever you want to call it, sold at auction. And the judge, that's not necessarily a victory because it doesn't mean that you're right. All it means is that you once again used the legal system to get away with your crimes. The judge basically said we need to go back and make sure that the funds that were used to buy the earrings belonged to the victims. But at the end of the day, that actually doesn't really matter because of the amount of restitution that Tom Girardi would owe to the victims anyway. So that's actually, it doesn't really matter. It's a moot point. And I don't know why she expects the women to cheer for her when all you're doing is what your fraudulent, thug, gross, disgusting husband did, which was bastardize our legal system in order to exploit people and to defraud people. So, Erika, you should not be applauded for this. Really, what you did is disgusting. You wasted time, you wasted energy, you wasted money, you wasted resources, and you're disrespectful as hell to the victims. You're re-traumatizing them and you're re-victimizing them by doing all of this crap and exploiting our legal system because you want to prove a point. And once you prove that point, now you want to cry boo-hoo-hoo. Nobody is apologizing to me. It's the narcissism for me. It's the delusion for me. like, Erika, girl, you're not fun, manifest Delulu. You're actually legit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, delusional and narcissistic. I'm not a doctor, I don't diagnose, but you're disgusting. You really thought anybody on God's green earth was going to apologize to you because you re-traumatized victims and you, again, exploited the legal system and wasted money and resources that could have gone to people who actually needed help. There are people who are fighting to keep their children. There are people who are fighting to keep a roof over their head. There are people who are fighting people who defrauded them. And that money and those resources and time could have went to people who actually needed it. But instead, you tied up our legal system to prove a point about $750,000 earrings that you're never getting back anyway. And you expect people to apologize to you? Erika, you can go all the way to hell. All the way to hell for that. Oh, I'm getting heated. Anyway, let's get back. Erika Jayne and Kyle Richards discuss Erika's little, they're calling it a victory. I'm not calling it a victory at all. And how the Pretty Mess singer felt about the cast reaction to the news. During last week's episode of Beverly Hills, Erika shared some news with her co-stars about her much-discussed diamond earrings. While on the cast trip to Barcelona, Erika told her co-stars that a judge concluded there was no proof that her $750K diamond earrings were purchased with client settlement funds by her estranged husband, Tom Girardi. Basically, the court decided that Erika Jayne was entitled to keep the earrings and that they should not have been sold at auction. I don't know if that's 100% true. I think that because again, Erika does plant fake news about her legal stuff. I was under the impression that the judgment was appealed pending finding out where the funds came from. But at this point, that doesn't really matter. When you have defrauded and stolen so much money from people's money and the amount of restitution that you owe your victims, girl, please shut up. Please, please. The earrings were auctioned off last December as part of Tom Girardi's ongoing bankruptcy case. Exactly. The once famed attorney is accused of embezzling millions from his clients via their settlement money. Erika expected her co-stars to celebrate her legal victory or at least apologize for their prior comments about the earrings. Instead, the stars got crickets from her co-stars, which shocked and hurt her. See, again, it's the delusion for me. I don't know, Erika, how you thought anybody would ever apologize to you for what you did and how grimy you moved. You said alleged victims. You said you didn't give a damn about anybody. And you've proved that through how you've moved. Even Tom Girardi's mistress gave back money. He had a long-term mistress. He paid for her law school. He got her judge appointment. She subsequently took a sabbatical from being a judge once everything popped off because she didn't want to be in the whole mess. Even her, she gave back money and gifts. And I think a vacation home he gave her. So even when the mistress is like, yo, listen, this ain't clean. Let me just go. Even if she didn't want to do the right thing, at least for optics in your reputation, do the right thing. Even the mistress gave back money and property and jewelry because that's what you're supposed to do. Even the mistress gave the stuff back. So I'm so confused why Erika Jayne thinks she's entitled to a damn thing. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. It felt really good to actually know that, hey, what I had been saying for a long time was true. I won my appeal for the earrings, which I so joyously told everybody, which fell on deaf ears, Erika said. Girl, winning an appeal doesn't mean that what you said was true. It just means that you, just like your husband, knows how to exploit the legal system to get what you want. He exploited the legal system for decades. That's how he was able to run a almost $1 billion Ponzi scheme. So Erika, shut up. She noted that she wanted Crystal in particular to hear the news. I think that it's important for Crystal to hear. She was saying something about my earrings in Aspen, Erika said, referencing Crystal's claim that if she were Erika, she would return the earrings over no matter what. Exactly. Let's get real. You're not caring without facts. So what are the facts do you have? I wanted to make sure that she knew I had won my appeal. Talk about uneducated. Again, Erika, it's a narcissism and delusion for me. I don't care what you think you won. You were married, or you are married to a thug. You're a thug yourself. Your husband was a criminal. You're a criminal yourself. I'll say alleged. Alleged. He allegedly stole millions and millions and millions of dollars from his clients and victims. And you allegedly profited from that. That's why you still have a $25 million case against you, because they funneled about $25 million of the victim's money into your Pretty Mess LLC. So the fact that you still have no empathy, no acknowledgement of the victims, and you want to boo-hoo over people not apologizing to you for these earrings is delusional. And I bet she throws herself a little pity party at the reunion. And Andy Cohen, I'm looking dead at you. If you have any empathy for Erika, I'm going to need you to be fired. I'm going to need you to be fired, Andy Cohen. I'm looking dead at you. You know? Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see what else this article says. Okay. Much more important, Erika said in agreement. On the after show, I don't even care what they said. I loved what Garcelle said in her confessional when this happened on the show. She said, I would have given the same thing Crystal said, I would have given the earrings back no matter what, just to show that I care and just to give something back to the victims. And I agree with that. And the fact that Erika still thinks in her little pea brain and her little Ozempic mind that she is in any way, shape, or form a victim herself blows my mind. Blows it. You're not a victim in any way, shape, or form, Erika. You're not. You are a woman who profited from blood money. You are a woman who still profits from blood money. Who's funding your life now? And don't say it's Bravo. It's those Wells Fargo's account that your husband set up. It's those, old, rich white guys that's not your sugar daddies. They're Tom Girardi's friends, in my opinion, who he set up accounts with to funnel you money. Who paid for Bet It on Blonde in Vegas? Who paid for that? Because residencies, Vegas doesn't pay for that. You pay for it as the performer. And then you make back through ticket sales and merchandise. Ask Candace over in Potomac how it works and touring works. Who's paying for your multi-million-dollar house? Who's paying for your glam squad and your choreographers and your dancers? Who's paying for your legal team and your publicist? Who's paying for all your cars and your jewelry and all of that stuff? Who's still paying for that? In my opinion, she still has access to a lot of accounts that Tom set up for her. She's still benefiting from blood money. And personally, I think it's disgusting that Bravo NBC gave her a spinoff. Housewife and the Hustler, now on Hulu, part 2, Erika's side. They're under the guise of Erika meeting the victims, but really they're just doing it for profit. Come on. Erika's side, get the hell out of here. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But that's my prediction. I think Erika is still going to be playing victim. I think Kyle's going to be up her butt because Kyle needs someone to have an alliance with. And I think that, unfortunately, Andy Cohen is going to be sympathetic to her because Andy Cohen is always sympathetic towards her. You would think he would have learned his own lesson since he has now been a victim of fraud himself, but I don't think he has. So with that, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. How do you think this season is going to go and the reunion is going to go? And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, you guys, I just dropped the link in case anybody wants to come up and chat. If not, I'm going to take a couple of candy cane questions and comments before we head on out. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Hey, Queen Hermit says,